Scarlet O'Hara, welcome to the mixing room.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for taking the time while you're here in Nashville. I mean, you spend a lot of time in California these days, and I want to get to that. But first and foremost, we just said your name. You have a famous person's name. People say that to other people, but you actually do.
Yeah. It's spelled different.
Is one letter different?
One letter different. I finally watched it. I've watched it 2 or 3 weeks ago.
What did you think?
No one told me the ending was sad.
Oh, no.
No one told. And I was like, man, they're all really complicated, kind of messed up individuals. And obviously, time period, there was more stuff that was messed up.
Yeah.
But no one told me that the ending wasn't going to be okay, all wrapped in a little bow. Because it's an older movie. I was like, cool. I'm not going to be sad tonight. No. Honestly, I if I ever really make it, when I gotta speak in,
there you go,
right,
manifest.
Right, manifesting. When I make it really big, I hope they let me wear some of those dresses because I feel like my name is Scarlet O'Hara and you'd have to let me do it.
Right.
That was the one thing I did remember. There was one dress where I was like, please God, if this does work out one day.
Well, you've certainly been fashionable the whole time you've been an artist. Look at what you showed up in to do this. He's in a t-shirt.
I live in this.
I am in a classy t-shirt, all right?
It's a nice, you guys
and our audio listeners can't disprove that.
I'm wearing a free t-shirt under this quarter zip.
Yeah, Scarlett is showing us up quite a bit for our audio listeners. Always professional.
Yeah, what's the word for this? There's a word for this.
Some people call it a penny lane coat.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen the movie and I need to watch it. That's I've never admitted that to anyone.
That's your next one.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Let us know if it has a happy ending.
I think it's Almost Famous, right? Have y'all seen it? Okay.
Yes. Oh, we watched that in Survey of Music Business.
Did we?
I didn't watch it in Survey of Music Business.
Okay, here's lore. We had Survey together, but because of the COVID and the last names thing, we never met.
Mm-hmm. You had it online. It
was half and half. I was in on Tuesdays and he was in on Thursdays.
I forgot it was
I was online while he was in person and vice versa.
So we would have met fall of freshman year, but it took till basically sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot we had half online and half not.
Yeah.
Certainly a weird experience.
Yeah.
We could have had
I only remember my in-person days. I do not remember the online classes from freshman year.
I barely remember anything except for maybe going to the CAF.
I had no friends. Everyone asked why I started
Mm-hmm.
events and parties at my house. It's because I was I have no friends. I know no one.
But no.
That was why.
Because how did you get people to show up?
I knew some people, and I'd say bring your friends. That's the only reason why I joined a sorority. A lot of them were beginning okay, I met them once in Theta because we got to meet bid day. They went to our doors, dropped stuff off, and then they were hey, meet outside with all your masks. When it's snowing, we'll take photos. I literally that's how I met a few friends, and that's it. I had one friend all of freshman year because COVID.
Yeah, it was weird.
Honestly, yeah, I'm sure you are not alone in that.
Yeah, well, I was in Bear House. No one was in Bear House. Weren't you in the fun one?
I was in Patton.
Yeah.
But Bear House isn't separate
Bear House
from Patton.
is kind of the same. What's the one next to it? Because they actually
we're getting Potter.
This is so Belmont.
Potter was.
Is it Potter?
So Belmont. It was Potter.
It was
okay,
Potter.
yeah.
But
Were you in there?
Potter,
Yeah, because I heard so much fun about that.
Hold on.
It was pretty fun.
I had a good time.
People would actually
and I would
meet.
go under the basement of Patton, come up to Potter.
Didn't even know that was a thing until junior year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
We like to start in the same place for a lot of our artists here, and that is kind of with your childhood. We got to understand your upbringing to kind of figure out your inspirations and what you got you here.
Yeah.
So where did it start for you?
I've been a classical pianist since I was 3, so I've always been around music. Did you not know this?
That's young, dude. 3.
That is
Yeah. The story is there's 2 stories. My parents.
I was still trying to put the triangle in the triangle and the circle in the circle. At 3.
I get really angry with myself too, thinking back on it, because I teach piano now as a side thing. But anyways, apparently my uncle was playing the Charlie Brown Christmas song on piano, the do-do-do-do-do, yeah. And I walk up to him and he teaches it to me and I can literally copy him and play it. And that's the first song I ever learned. Which is not what I would ever give any of my kids for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And so that was okay, we have to get her in lessons. But before that, my parents joked. They were oh, you sang before you could talk. We would be in the car and you'd be in your little car seat, singing the guitar solos Especially like, I know Keith Urban's Somebody Like You was really big. They were like, you would always pick out, she was like, you wouldn't pick out the words, you'd pick out the backgrounds and start singing those too. And I was like, baby, me knew. Yeah, that's the very young bits, but classical music was like my first love, but I quit at 12, still continued playing for myself. And then I had a lot of like older inspirations. I remember the Beatles Rock Band. I kept beating it on guitar, so my parents got me a real guitar. Wow. Rock Band. Thank you, Rock Band. And yeah, honestly picked up the guitar because of George Harrison.
Did you find it easy to go from Rock Band to real guitar?
No, but I played piano, and so my ear was pretty set already.
Okay.
And I can pick up anything like this and play it. And I think because of piano, you can give me anything. If you give me 30 minutes, I can like find a tune.
Yeah.
Because that's such a good like foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, so. I only asked because I was assuming the answer was no. I only asked because in high school, the band that I was in, that I had formed, we played a house party. And after our set, we went over, like, there was like a video game console in the basement, and they had the whole setup, the drums, everything, right? So we're like, oh, we got this, right? Everybody grabs their instrument, and we got like booed off the stage. Like, it is nothing like real instruments at all.
Well, funny enough for me, I grew up playing Rock Band also, but I was so bad at Rock Band guitar when I was growing up. And this was before I started learning guitar.
Okay.
And then I learned guitar, and then many years later in college, we revisited Rock Band. We had a Rock Band phase, and I was like, all right, I play guitar so much now. There's no excuse to not be good at Rock Band guitar as well. And I picked it up then, and I was like,
so funny.
And it clicked.
Yeah.
And I can play songs on Expert and sight read them on Expert, basically. You know what I mean? Something changed.
Yeah.
I think it was the right hand, left hand, eye coordination, honestly, that I didn't have.
But still, sight reading.
9-year-old.
Sight reading. I know it's Rock Band.
I'm exaggerating.
Sight reading's impressive.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, like.
I was like, I think that's why I was good at it. Because I learned notation before I ever learned contemporary stuff. Like, for me to read, you can, even to this day, like, you can give me a piece of music and I can sit down, give me a second, and I come back and I'll play it for you. Mm-hmm. But it's harder for me. Like, I've never jammed as a pianist. Like, people just in a room playing stuff, I'm like, tell me the key, or I'll freak out. Because I can't do it.
We are very much two sides of that coin, where he I think grew up or learned all of his music in a jam setting a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes that was me being in control of it. So I'm not as good at picking it up, but I can still typically pick it up because I knew the opposite side of it, which was like, hey, here's like watch my hands, like here's what we're doing. We're like coming to the bridge, assume what chord we're gonna go to. Like I knew how to call it and how to kind of quarterback it. Yeah. So I am at least decent on sitting in a jam session, like kind of blending in and being a part of it.
And I was the classically trained guitarist. You know, I was the other side of it. So,
but you need one of those because the jam guy is like just kind of barely holding the ship together. The classical trained people are the ones who are like, okay, here's how we actually fill the space so that there's not like a whole bunch of people just going like da 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 da, right? Like somebody's got to kind of do like a da 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 da. You
gotta have the great.
It's the background that really makes the song. That like little you was picking out. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense, like where in the direction I went and now like producing.
Right. So, and let's go into that. You want to talk about making a song. Your single Doesn't Always Have to Hurt, which came out, it's probably about 3 years ago now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is 3 years. It's not 2 years.
Yeah, it is.
Busy,
talk about what production looked like on that and the backstory there, because then I want to talk about how that has evolved with this new project.
Very different. I think I wrote Doesn't Always Have to Hurt in like 10, 15 minutes. It's always been a great song. Like, even to this day, like I love the hook. I love the song. I went to a producer and you could tell that I was like beginning to understand how to produce. Like I took it to a producer and we worked on it together. Like I could kind of like me as a kid would point out like little sounds and ideas. And I was like, what if we did this with that? Whereas now I am fully a producer on my tracks, very present, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot more depending on the style of it or how we're doing it. So like Doesn't Always Have to Hurt was your, like, I hate to say like your basic little song, but like I write it, I sing it, I take it to a producer. We ended up keeping like the demo vocals. My voice was really strong back then. I was I spent more on my voice than my college education. That's what I said. My money, that's what I did with my allowance.
On lessons?
Yes. That's what I had no friends freshman year, so I got to spend it on lessons. That's what I said. COVID, yay. But, it was very simple, very straightforward. Whereas now, like, the project I'm working on has taken 3 years of writing, going in studios, trying out different parts, me arranging strings, me arranging piano parts, classical notation and not. There is something like this week where my violinist, I'm very like adamant on I'm being in the room because we're not doing it to time. So everything's different, hands-on. I'm assisting engineering or something like that. So very, very different world. And I mean, the story of the last 3 years comes into why, but I feel like that was like me dipping my toe in music and being like, okay, I can do this. And this new one is like, okay, this is me. Every song you're going to hear on this, I could talk for about hours, whereas I don't have a lot to say about. Doesn't always have to, great song, don't have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every artist is kind of like that to a degree. Like, you put something out, it gets its time and space, and then you move to something new, and all of a sudden, what was is what was, right? Yeah. And you're like, proud of it, love it, but this is where my heart and soul is at, is this new, right?
Yeah.
So, like, but there's 3 years of lived experience, not just professional experience, but personal growth, all that. I mean, you moved.
Yeah. I mean, that was recent. But, I did move the whole time in college. You're right. Sure,
that too. But I mean, you're in LA now most of the time, right? Mm-hmm. So let's take us into that a little bit. Because, I mean, you used to be out and about here all the time. I mean, I ran into you at I was going to get a haircut. I ran into Scarlet a couple summers ago. So that was, I guess, kind of indirectly what got us to work writing together and all,
got us talking again.
Yeah, and now here we are. So, but do you have those connections in LA? How does are you a fish out of water, or do you love that pond? What's it like?
I love both ponds. The really good thing about I think Nashville prepared me for LA. And then in LA, I mean, Nashville, we kind of had a built-in community through Belmont, through school, and also I spent 5, almost 6 years of my life here. Whereas in LA, if I don't leave the house, if I don't make the effort, it's not going to come to me. I think LA right now has made me the best kind of uncomfortable and given me the best stress because it has made me work like no other. And even though I'm coming here to work and record, I've still kind of kept the LA of okay, this is what we're hitting today. When I get back, it doesn't stop. It only continues. And it's the same thing, whereas here we can go and meet people at I know they started back pop hangs here, but there's that in LA too, and finding the communities, just finding people, staying present. Shows are a different thing, but for the most part, I'm finding a similar wave of people, but maybe it's just because Nashville has prepped me to know where to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hog it. I didn't want to hog it. No,
that was just a good answer. I was just thinking about it.
I'll keep pushing. I was going to say, tell us about shows.
Yeah. Well, I think in Nashville, everyone is so eager to play that it's really easy to build a band. And I have 2 of my spots filled already. I'm going to look for a drummer. I'm going to send a message out. I really needed to do it yesterday, but hey. I'm playing a show with Stella Prince. She asked me to play a show with her. And funny enough, it's on the day the first single comes out. So I'm wow, things are lining up. It's a busy 2026. I have some other venues that were in talks, but we got to put it around other things. And acting, I could get something huge and I'd be scrap it all. Everything's not fully in the air, but it's okay, we're at the scheduling point. But I will say in LA, I think there's what I have found. And I think we learned this in Belmont, wherever your music takes off, wherever you're respected, go. And I had a lot of people here that told me your skill set is not meant for here. I always got I had my people in Nashville, I have the audio friends that we can do this, but I never ever had the support I'm finding in LA, even after only being there for 4 months. A friend who's oh, I want to play bass for you, I want to be on stage, and he's a mixer master, and then I have another friend who's a producer, and they're can I play guitar? And I'm oh, this is exciting. This is a new, I feel after a while Nashville's oh, we have a show, what do we have to do? And whereas now I'm like, oh my gosh, we get to do this. I don't know. It's a new frame of mind for me, which I think I'm just happier over there because some might too. But I've had the support a lot easier. It's like it's been coming to me instead of I'm hunting it down 40 million times. And I think that's just probably personal. I don't think that's everyone's experience. I think, maybe it's the intention I'm putting out in the world. I don't know.
But it's working.
It's working. Yeah. So.
That's super cool. Tell us how LA is different because it's so much more of a mix of things as opposed to Nashville is really, you're here for music, right?
City. Yeah. LA is also like big music city, but
sure, of course.
Yeah, but most people I meet are not in it, or they're in film because film's even bigger. And then I'm an actress, so I always have something to talk about, say, which is good. I meet so many people like. They're like, oh, I'm a teacher, or oh, I'm this. And I actually really like that. Like in Nashville, you ask what someone does and they're like, oh, I'm this. And then in LA, I'm like, wait, no, tell me about this job, because it's not music. I love music jobs, but you know what I mean? Like
absolutely
being around a mix of people. I think it also kind of helps grounds you. And I know people think when LA, oh, like, I don't know. I think people in LA are very grounded and there's all types of people there. And I think that's helping me. But also in Nashville, it's so cool that everyone is attached to music. So I think that's like the main difference is like you have everyone in LA is creative in some sort, but not everyone is chasing it like, I want to be the next, Taylor Swift. There's different levels of like, I do this on the side, or like, oh, I'm here just because I loved the arts and like I dabble in this and maybe it'll work out. I feel like a lot of people that I know here, or maybe it was just the school we went to, are very like, I need to be the next whatever. Whereas in LA, everyone has such different goals and they're so specifically defined. And I think it kind of led me to like where I am like with the next project on how I wanted to present it and how specific I wanted to be about looks and aesthetic and colors. And I think LA really takes, and I think it's because there's more types of creative than just the music. Nashville, amazing music all the time. In LA, I'm shocked by what comes with the music. That has been very inspiring because just there's so many videographers, photographers that have kind of like let me know like, hey, being specific, very important in ways that I didn't think of here.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no,
okay.
Absolutely. And I do want to get into that new project and into the single that you have coming out. But while we're on the subject of LA and artists and the sort of hyphenate, right? Like it's not just I'm this or I'm that. It's a variety. How do you personally, is it Monday is a actress career path day and Tuesday's a music day? Is it, is it 12 to 4 and 5 to 9? Like, and how do you switch between those if there's a switch? Like, what's it like?
I think I get asked this all the time in acting. So I'm like, I got it. But there's slow seasons in both. Right. I think in music, there's less of a slow season because we kind of have to just throw things out and hope. Whereas in acting, you're getting a yes and a no. I'm in a prep season right now for acting, like preparing to submit to things. But every day, like you have your submissions that I can go through on my apps, anything else I want to reach out for someone for. But it's very straightforward, I think. So an acting day, like one time I got 7 auditions in 3 days in LA, like my 3rd week. And I was like, okay, no music for 4 days. Like this is my life for the next 3 days. And kind of like when there's days like that, okay, we go towards acting, but then there's music days where I'm like, it's kind of like whenever this is bad to say, whenever I have time, I do music. But it ends up being a lot of time because I think since I've gotten to LA.
I mean, hey, to a degree, that's what we do. I mean, we both went to work today and then came home, ate some food real quick,
and then we're here.
Threw the mics up, threw the lights and the cameras, and now we're doing a show.
Yeah.
So I completely understand. I don't think it's a disrespectful thing to say, oh, when I have time, I do, right? Like, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And I used to have like a schedule of practicing, but I think making sure I at least do one thing a day for like my career and then one thing a day for my creativity does help me. And it could be just like me playing my piano scales, or it could be writing a song. I just have something in the day that has to keep me tied to something creative, whether it is in the music sense. And then in acting, I have a bunch of work that I'm working on and scenes and then other stuff to prep. So I kind of, my goal for December is like an hour a day. So that kind of changes.
Yeah.
I'm ADHD. We can't set a strict schedule for my life.
So we got to get to some of your new stuff because that is really exciting. So first, you have a single coming out very soon. Okay, so let's get to this single, Play the Victim, yes?
Yes.
All right, tell us a little bit about that one. And like Dan was saying, how it's changed from Doesn't Always Have to Hurt.
Yeah, this one is, I would say, the most similar to Doesn't Always Have to Hurt in production wise, except for the fact that this thing has like almost 400 tracks on it. I want to say 50 of those are vocals, more than 50 guitars,
or like what's
different things. I wanted to put like Bonnie Tyler like vocals, like Holding Out for a Hero, how she has that like choir-ish thing in the back. Yeah, that was one of my inspirations. It's very 80s leaning. I worked with someone who also went to Belmont, Caitlin Walker. She worked at Ocean Way while I worked at Starstruck, 2 studios on Music Row. And then we met in an audio class and she was like, wait, she heard Doesn't Always Have to Hurt. And she's like, I like this. I like your voice. I sent her a demo and some of my instruments are still in the final track, which is so nice. And she started putting some more stuff around it. We had like another one of her friends in Ocean Way heard it and he was like, can I add some guitar? And then she sent it to me and I was like, I love this. And then I brought in another guitarist. So kind of a mix of us like bringing in people, adding little elements. She really did, I feel like, the bulk of the production on that. And I was like, I don't know how I gave you these synths, these keys. And she just added these guitars and it just, yeah. It's my favorite mix.
So when you're writing, and maybe it changes song by song a little bit, is maybe kind of what I get the impression of. But when you're writing, is it piano-driven, synth-driven? Like, how does it start?
Yeah, most of my songs are written on the piano. I want to say this one was written on guitar. I have a few songs on here that were written on guitar. I don't play guitar well, but once in a while. This was another one I wrote pretty fast, too. I feel like a lot of where I was at that time in my life, which was like I was at my lowest point ever, I was writing a lot of songs very fast and they ended up being the ones where I'd look back at them and maybe change a few things. And then I was like, yep, these are it. I feel like when you're writing them, like I know if I'm going to look back at it. Yeah. I've written hundreds of songs. I've written since I was 12. But like when I'm writing it, I'm like, oh, I know this one's going to be something. Mm-hmm. Even if I write like a verse and finish it 5 years later, which I've done. Mm-hmm. So, this was one where immediately, and it was very rock leaning, which at the time was new for me. Whereas now I've learned to like embrace that rock was a very big part of my inspirations growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you showed this song to 12-year-old you, who I guess was also writing songs, what would they think?
She would not believe it. I think she'd be like, wait. Also, I think I'd be more shocked at the fact that I am taking a hand in production, or at least care so much about it. Like that. Like the amount of time in the studio that was taken for these songs to be like 3 years old is still crazy to think about. But that shows like the time and the love we've put into them. I think I wouldn't even believe where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Do you feel the narrative of this song, of maybe potential other songs you're working on, it has enough time already passed to where a different person is singing them than wrote them? Completely. And how does that enhance the artistry?
See, I'm someone like when I'm wrong, like this is my angriest song I've ever written. And even my tone in my music, like I will talk about my exes like they are, or like people who I'm writing about, because half my songs are not about relationships. But I always write, this is like a rule of mine, like equal playing field. And this is the one song, and I feel like I generally don't write from like a victim perspective, but I was getting really angry at like the cards I was dealt and like what was happening to me. And this is on the side of that. But I feel like I'm at a place now where it's like I've gone through the stuff, I'm healed, to where I actually can be angry with it. Like I can actually talk about the song, promote it the way it needed to be. I think I just, like for the last 3 years, getting sick, going through like a really harsh breakup, losing a lot of friends, like that's when this was written, and like at the most like vulnerable point in my life. And a lot of people just were not there for me. And now is like it took 2-3 years, but now I can finally talk about it. So I think it's like the right timing. Some of the songs are newer, but a lot of them are old, but I don't think if these would have come out a year ago, they would be as good as they are now.
What do you want your audience to know going into Play the Victim, going into any potential further releases in 2026?
If someone does you wrong, don't be afraid to call them out. Don't be afraid to speak up. I think I put all of that into my music when I wish I would have put it into my music in my real life. But also there is a theme for me in my writing, and I'm just this kind of person. Like, it's really ironic. I like my songs to be dancey when if you played them on a piano, they might make you cry. We joke we're dance crying at the witchy disco.
That's awesome.
Are
you writing that down?
Hey, say that again.
Dance crying at the witchy disco. Is the title now?
Maybe.
Okay.
Could be.
Hey.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's catchy and it's like kind of like not clickbait.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
What does that mean? I want to. Yeah.
That can be my little slogan or whatnot, but.
Put that on a sticker, like your face and like your name, and then like a little subtitle.
I just might. We were thinking about sticker ideas. Yeah, but I think a lot of these songs are just. Some of them are the ones I was really afraid to put out, and especially this one, I felt like it was too mean. Mm-hmm. And there were some other ones, and then the ones that were the ones that my friends or my bandmates were like, these are your best works. These are the one people needs to hear. I had to be pushed in that direction to accept them. And then to now be where I'm like, I know I can talk about it. I can be vulnerable. I definitely couldn't do that 2 or 3 years. I could not do that when these were written, and now I can. So I think I look on my younger self who wrote these with a lot of grace and love because she needed that.
Do you think that writing these songs helped you get to a point where you could say these things?
Oh, yes.
In your real life?
Yeah. I think I have a bad habit of writing songs that come true. So some of these songs, people are like, oh, I know what this is about. I'm like, this was written 4 months before, and then it came true, or things like that. So I think whenever I write a song, the feeling in that song is my first like inclination of that's something I need to think about, whether it's as a person to heal me or just if that's something that's going on in my life. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's really
neat. That you're able to get in touch with that like almost early, right? Like ahead of the experience or ahead of fully feeling the emotion or whatever. Like you're kind of clocking it and like saying, let me document this in its purest form before I've even had time to even consider how I feel about it. Like, let me just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It seems like your creativity and intuition are
very
like that tied together.
Yeah. I think sometimes I wake up, like when I was younger, I would like wake up or I couldn't go to bed because I would get ideas in my head. When I was younger, it was funny because I'm like, you kid me, was hearing strings and pianos and symphonies. Now that I write contemporary music, I'm hearing, like lines or guitars and whatnot. But I'll wake up thinking of something and then come back and maybe write something to it. And that's how literally some things happen for me. So very true.
Where do you hope to be looking back on this project, say 3 years from now that it's been a 3-year journey?
Yeah. I hope it gives me a start bigger than whatever I anticipate, or something stronger, or I hope that it moves me somewhere I wouldn't expect. I think as artists or as any creative, it's so like, oh, let me get to the next level. And I'm just thinking, I want it to take me somewhere, whether it's the next level, but somewhere where I wouldn't think. I mean, that's what these songs did for me and like taught me how to be vulnerable. I hope I'm doing that for someone else. And I hope it builds a community that inspires me. Mm-hmm. That's what I would love out of it. I almost make my music to find my people because I haven't found what I would want in my
Damn it, that might be a title too. I make my music to find my people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm family always said I was like an old soul in a young body. But like my favorite music is late 70s, early 80s, and like I was very intentional about picking the sounds for that. Mm-hmm. And then there's also a bit of me that's like the, classical-esque. You'll hear little bits in it, but I really think the sounds we've made, it's not a normal sounding thing. Like you'll hear it and be like, I can hear your influences, but it doesn't sound, that's my hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's where I'm like, when when my friends like the songs and they're excited about them, or people I show, then I'm like, okay, like I know we connect on a deeper level or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Absolutely. Who are some of those influences that inspire your music the most?
Yeah, what are you listening to?
Currently it's different, but I always say like there's a bit of Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks specifically, but also other stuff. And ABBA in everything I do. And I think it's the irony that they have, like, I've seen, this is so bad, but there's like a meme and a joke that it's like, ABBA is like, nothing matters, and like happy, and then Fleetwood Mac's like, nothing matters, and it's like really sad. And I'm like, I'm both of those at the same time. And the other influences that I would say are really, really impactful would be like Queen, Elton John, Michael Jackson a little bit. The Beatles were huge for me, like I said earlier, and disco. Like ABBA's disco, yes, but also Earth, Wind, and Fire, and any, like some Donna Summer, anything from that age.
Yeah.
And then you take that, those are my like old school influences, and you take that and you mix that with the modern like pop female like Chappell Roan or Dua Lipa. Like that is how I think to present myself with my old influences plus where I think I would land today.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I certainly think we hear that in Play the Victim. I mean, you can hear it in Doesn't Always Have to Hurt too. And we're very excited to hear more of that in what you may have ahead. Do you want to say anything on what may be coming further down the road in 2026?
2026 is big. That's what I'll say. It's
keep a listening ear out.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on her socials. Where can people find you online to keep up with 2026 and what a year it's going to be?
Everything is my name with an extra S and an A and an A at the end. So it's like Scarlet O'Hara and then the little extra S and extra A. But if you look it up, you'll find it. Just spell it like the color.
And
Scarlet.
we'll have it linked as always in the description of this episode too. Mm-hmm. So be sure to follow Scarlet on all platforms. Scarlet, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.